So in the metsuda pirkei by Rabbi Avram Davis, in Pirkei 1:17, it's called Ethics of the Fathers. Rabbi Shimon, son of Gamliel, says, all my life I was brought up among the sages, and I've not found anything better for a person than silence. Study is not the most important thing, but practice is, and too much talk brings to sin. And then we have a quote from Rashi, it's that a silent fool is considered wise, whereas a wise person who is always talking is considered a fool. And King Shlomo said, in the multitude of words there's no lack of transgression, but he who restrains his lips is wise. That's from Proverbs or Mishlei. And another one from Ecclesiastes or Koheles, we have a quote also by King Solomon: the voice of the fool is known through his overabundance of talk. Okay. Sefer hamiddos divides conversation into 4 categories. The Sefer hamiddos. And I want to find, just one second. Okay. The first is completely harmful, with cursing and slander, profanity, etc., which should be totally avoided. 2 is good and bad, praising a person in the presence of his enemy. His intention may be good, but the result is harmful. This type of conversation should also be avoided. 3, useless and worthless. This type forms the major part of most conversations, consisting of opinions, comments regarding that which are of no vital concern to anyone. Although this conversation is permitted, there's no real purpose served by it. And 4, meritorious. This is such as discussions based on the wisdom of Torah and the greatness of God. A person should try his utmost to limit his speech to this category. Then we have other commentators who divide conversation into 4 categories. 1 is mitzvos, which is Torah study and teachings, prayers, etc. 2 is transgressions, which are falsehood, slander, cursing, profanity, bearing false witness. 3 is worthless, which is politics, gossip, useless speculation about the cause of a person's death or the source of his wealth. 4 is worthwhile, which is praising the virtues of good traits and wisdom, degrading that which is vulgar. And 5, permissible, whether it's business, professional, discussion, health, etc. And then from Avos to Rav Nosson, we learn, if silence is becoming to the wise, how much more so for the foolish? Megillah 18a. The sages said that if a word is worth a selah, silence is worth 2. Meiri, the scholars of ethics Musar, said, guard your tongue as you would guard your wealth. And they also said, the fewer the words, the less chance of errors. Rambam, Maimonides, and Rabbeinu Yonah on Yevamos 63b, speech is fitting only when it comes from the mouths of those who practice what they preach. In Mishnah 2:6, it's God punishes the wicked through those who themselves are deserving of punishment. Hill saw a skull floating on the water, the surface of the water. He said to it, they drowned you because you drowned others, and those who drown you will themselves be drowned. This Mishnah is based on a man is measured according to the measure he uses toward others. The validity of this concept has been demonstrated every time and every place. Those who devise new methods of destruction will ultimately be victims of their own devices. Conversely, when they create something beneficial to mankind, they'll reap the reward of their creativity. In Mishnah 2:14, Rabbi Elazar discusses 3 things that are necessary for success in Torah scholarship. And the first is to be diligent in Torah study. The second is know what to answer to one who is scornful of the law. And third, to know whom before you toil. And he says your employer is trustworthy and will pay you the reward for your labor. And for the second, to be able to answer on Apikoros questions, one should always be prepared to answer the following 7 questions about anything he learned. So, first of all, who? Second of all, what? Third, to whom? Or of whom? 4, when? 5, where? 6, how? And 7, why. This requires keen perception and deep concentration. And for the third, which is know before whom you toil, it's confidence that God will provide his material needs. Pesach ainayim, as a source. We have, it's not necessary to study secular knowledge or the teachings of Gentiles in order to be able to contradict the arguments of the apikoros, the heretic. With diligent study of Torah alone, one will be equipped to answer the questions of an apikoros. According to Rabbeinu, yonah, apikoros refers to one who denies the divine origin of the oral Torah, or one whose decisions are not based on halacha. According to the Rambam, apikoros is a non-Jew, because we're not permitted to debate or discuss matters of faith with Jewish heretics since they deny the divine authority of Torah. They're considered beyond help. According to bertinero, an apikoros is one who degrades the Torah and considers it of no value. Hefker, as the root of the word apikoros, because it returns to the status of an article that has no ownership, like how the apikoros has no master. In Mishnah 4:2, Ben Azai says, hasten to perform the easiest mitzvah and run from all sin, for one mitzvah will lead to another mitzvah, one sin will lead to another sin, because the reward of a mitzvah is a mitzvah, and the wage of sin is sin. Tiferet yisroel says that there's 4 types of easy mitzvahs. 1, and even these should not be taken lightly. 1, mitzvahs which require no effort. 2, mitzvahs which require some effort yet are considered easy because of the constant practice. For example, reciting the daily prayers. 3, mitzvahs inspired by logical and ethical considerations. 4, mitzvahs from which we derive pleasure. For example, eating a Shabbos meal or wearing a beautiful talis. And also Ben Azai says, do not despise any man. Rashi, Rabbeinu, Yonah, Rambam, and bertinero all explain this as the most insignificant person might someday be in a position where he can either help or harm you. And then I think we'll stop here, and I wish you all the best. Looking forward to next time. Okay, bye.